Hi, Leo. It's Lynn from Tinker Tarot and Cartomancy. I'm here to do your August, your birthday, tarot reading. So I have everything almost laid out here. I want to apologize for being late. I've been working a lot lately and I just haven't had time or energy, but here we are now. So, um, in the underlying energy, it shows you feel trapped, but are you? Are you trapped? You feel trapped. You're very deep in your emotions over something in a situation in your life. But there's definitely a way out of this easily for you. Um, but part of you maybe feels like you can't, you feel really down, you feel like you're alone facing something, and it's difficult for you, emotionally, especially at this time. But there is hope because you also have the Nine of Cups. And the Nine of Cups says that there is emotional fulfillment coming. And I think part of that emotional fulfillment is if you try to see your options here. You try to look at your options instead of looking at your barriers. And I think it's all how you're looking at it in some way, because you're very full of doubt at this time. You're undecided and feeling like you don't, like, here's your options, right? But here's where you feel like you don't really have any options. There's these two sides of you and two sides of the situation. And you're full of a lot of doubt about, your, whether it's your confidence or others' confidence in you, but you're feeling a lot of doubt about your options, and you're undecided on what to do, so you don't do anything, right? When we're in the four, we're in limbo. We can't really, we're at the crossroads, but we're sitting there. We're not really picking a direction, moving forward in any way. We're pausing because sometimes we feel like, we'll pick the wrong direction. We don't believe in ourselves in some way, right? So, anyway, that's the underlying energy. In the recent past, you have the World and the Eight of Cups. So, something ended, a huge chapter in your life, a big chapter, something that you may have been doing or involved in. It could have been work, a relationship, or something in your life that you left behind. You've completed already, and you've left behind because there was something lacking in it for you. You weren't getting everything out of it. There was something missing for you, or something missing in it, in the situation, I feel like, and perhaps in your life, because I think what you're looking for is stability. You're looking for guidance in some way as well. But there's a possibility you could be going to work or looking toward working for a um like a foundation, like a university, a hospital, a church, something like that, where it's a big company, has big roots. It could even be government. But there you're looking for your crowd, your clique, your place, and a sanctuary in some ways. But you're looking to evolve higher, and you're about to evolve higher at this point. This was a learning stage for you, what you went through there, and but you're evolving through this process. And the Four of Wands is a very, you want stability basically in your life. So this is stable. This could be a stable career step. This could be working with a new group of people. It's happiness, I'm going to tell you that. It's feeling like home in a way, all right? And then you have the Nine of Pentacles and the Ace of Cups. And the Nine of Pentacles is about having independence, being proud. It feels a feeling about yourself that you didn't feel before. You know, this is feeling proud of oneself, where we're been able to get what we've lived through, what we've accomplished, what our skill base is, and all this stuff. And also who we are, who we are. And that's where the Ace of Cups comes up, because after you gain this pride, okay, then you can open up to emotion, you can open up to relationships. Before, maybe you couldn't, because you were feeling so down, something could have went wrong, you got disappointed in people, they let you down or something. And and part of it was a breaking down of the self, or yeah, that's what it was. And so now you're building back up again from scratch, and you weren't ready for relationships, not for like really true quality relationships where it comes from both sides. But now you're opening up to that. You're opening up to love. Okay. And it starts with love of the self first. We have to treat ourselves good, say kind things to ourselves, have confidence in ourselves and our ability. Because, Leo, you are a natural leader. You are naturally gifted with qualities and skills and very capable. Like, you're a fire sign, and fire sign are creators, like they are manifestors, because they take action, they're action oriented, right? Fire moves, it moves, right? So in the present is where there is an offer or a contract, something. It could have something to do with legal, something in the legal field, something to do with business, perhaps. Like, I feel like paperwork, um, reports, something like that. Okay. But it's about truth, honesty, and it's strategic. It's all like very, very well planned. And I feel like you're planning a big move, a big new step here. Okay. I love that you have the Ace of Cups. It starts from your emotion, and then it goes into the Ace of Swords, which is about humility, truth, um, and in shining a new light, peace, coming in peace. Okay. That King of Swords is has matured his mind. He's grown a lot. He's thought things out, worked it out in his head, and looked. I love to think of the King of Swords as the chessboard, right? There's all these possibilities, but to win, how am I going to do it? These are all the options I have. And but and it changes, and so it's very masterful. That has to really use his head. Very smart, very what do I want to say, well thought out. Things are well thought out. Anyway, so an offer, a communication, a new way of looking at things too, honestly. Then you have the Chariot and another ace, the Ace of Pentacles. So the Chariot is about making a decision, basically, like these fours, the crossroads. In the Chariot, she is being pulled in two different directions. One horse wants to go this way, one horse wants to go that way. And when we're not in the driver's seat, when we're not taking control or action in our whole lives, we're just being led and driven to wherever. We can't complain because we're not being involved. We're not taking any action. And in the Chariot is when we decide to take action. We decide to take the reins in our lives again, and direct it where we want to go. Where do you want to go? You may have many options, but where do you want to go? What direction makes sense for you now at your life, and according to what you want to do and your skills, and so on and so forth. And so, with the Ace of Pentacles, this is going toward perhaps a new career. I'm feeling new career possibly, but also taking care of the self too, because the Pentacles is about the body as well as money and material things and success, right? I feel like there's a lot of new doors opening for you, Leo, and options that are open to you, right? But you've got to take the reins. You've got to sit in the driver's seat, okay, to be involved in your own pursuit. And here we have the Emperor and the Ten of Wands. So all these aces, I knew there was going to be a 10. Plus you have the World back here, which is completion. The 10 is also completion. This is completing something that was a lot to carry. You know, it was a load to carry, and you carried it, and you're just about complete. You're just about at the end of the road. You can lay down those troubles. You can lay down those labors of whatever you were doing. And but also at the end of this arduous journey, this struggle, this hard journey you've been on, you become the emperor. And the emperor realizes he was in control all along. You know, we are the masters of our own plan. And the emperor is stability. The emperor is thinks about all the different facets, like the chessboard, before he makes a move, thinks about all the possibilities. So this is gaining control, and also realizing that that whole journey, that whole thing that you had to go through were lessons. All of those wands he's carrying on his back, he collected along the way, and they're lessons he learned about life going through this. And he realizes that now he's become the emperor. He's mastered something. The emperor is the master. You know, he has learned everything in all the suits. And here you've mastered something about this lesson, this journey, this task that you were set out to or given to accomplish, and you have. So that is the reward at the end of that. And I know this is going to be a victorious journey. It's going to be a hard won victory because the chariot is here. The chariot has to do the work, has to think about it, feel it, you know, experience it, to know which is the right way to go now, you know? And so you've gone through all this. Now, it near the end of August, you have the Queen of Pentacles and the Seven of Pentacles. Now, this could be people coming into your life, you know, like this king could, because this is some sort of person that is experienced, that has, could be a boss, could be a co-worker, could be someone that speaks to you about this situation, this offer. The queen is very nurturing, could be a mother figure, an auntie, could be a woman or an earth sign coming into your life, Capricorn, Taurus, or Virgo. And you know, I think this person gives you a little bit of sense of your worth. It could be you too going through this energy. The queen, this queen is about, she's very sensual. She is very capable. She can take care of all the land and all the bills and all the kids and everything like that. She's very nurturing. She represents fertility, but she also is um, maybe giving you a message of your worth, you know, telling you to ask for what you're worth, because this is the fruits of our labor, waiting to receive the fruits of our labor. And so, or you may be working for something that you will be rewarded, paid for in time. And so I think too, this is your efforts you've put toward yourself, your self care. Um, but I'm kind of feeling like this is an influence around you of someone reminding you, helping you, supporting you establish your worth and to ask for it and to expect it. Here you are, Leo, which is why I feel like this is someone around you. The King of Wands and the Three of Pentacles. So it looks like you're going to be collaborating with at least one other person, maybe two, maybe five, I don't know. Part of a team, I'm getting the feeling of, where you're going to be collaborating and working on something together. This is something you take pride in. You want quality, you really want to do it well and to be a good part of the team. This is something you're making that will provide in the future, I think. Okay, and then you have the Two of Wands and the Queen of Cups. Now, the Two of Wands is where we have the future to look forward to. We're moving forward. We're taking steps. We're maybe even having meetings. You might be having a meeting with this Queen of Cups. This could be a date, even. But the Two of Wands is kind of like the learning curve where we're starting, like he's an empty vessel or she and empty, and we're building ourselves back up again. We're gaining skills, maybe taking training, where you're filling yourself up full of knowledge, skills, experience, but feeling like you don't have a lot to offer. You don't have experience in this way. And I think that this possibly also could be a meeting or even a date. Um, you could be feeling like optimistic, but vulnerable. Vulnerable. Okay. So I see these two women around this King of Wands. Okay. You could be collaborating with these two people, working together. Maybe this is part of a interview. You may be interviewed by a few people, something like that. Something is brewing here in your career, but also in your health of how you look and take care of yourself. So this is all in August. So these ones I already shuffled. They're all ready to be dealt out. I didn't deal them out because, darn it, if they don't stick to my elbows all the time and drive me cuckoo. Cuckoo for Cocoa Puffs. So let's get these. I do 7 piles and I go around 3 times, so there's 3 cards in each pile. There we go. So we're starting here. So this is where we are at the present time. Looks like tears here. This could have been a romantic situation. It also could be a struggle or something that yourself or someone around you is going through. And again, I'm feeling like it's that self struggle of our own worth, feeling sorry for ourselves, perhaps pity, feeling like we don't have choices, we're trapped. What can I do? Rather than what can I do? You know? And I feel like this is turning around though. We're going from a spade to a heart. And there, whether this feelings of jealousy or envying others is coming from yourself or coming from another about you, it's in the air. And I think you're starting to change that. You're starting to look at your envy or maybe even resentments as ambitions, you know, being around someone who is successful, who is happy, who is healthy, because I want to learn how they did that. I want to be more like that. So it's changing an attitude here, okay? Or this could be happening to someone around you, maybe even a younger person. Um, You also could, for some of you, you could be meeting someone who's very jealous, and it may take time for them to um, trust. Trust. Coming. Whoops. Oh, jeez. See, my elbows knock over everything. So yeah, I'm getting the feeling here there could possibly be a date, someone you're interested in, they're interested in you. Um, I don't know if this is a good idea with this person. You could be very attracted to them, but I think there is trouble. I think there is trouble with this person. Um, there is a loss here, or there could have been a loss in relationship. This could be also with a family member or a friend. That you probably had a long relationship, a long friendship, where you were close for a long time, and something happened and there was a loss and an ending. So you stopped talking, stopped hanging out, stopped living together. I don't know. Something happened there. So something came to an end in a relationship. Um, So I feel like there could have been some health concerns or things that you were concerned about health wise. That came up here a lot in the tarot too, of taking care of yourself better. You could have given up on your health a little for a while and said, well, whatever, I don't care kind of attitude. But I feel like you're changing that. You care now, and you it looks to me like you could be talking to people about your health, or have been talking to people about your health, solving a health issue. Maybe you can't figure out what it is. You have an upset stomach, or you know cramps in your legs, or and they're saying nope, there's no reason for it, and you're saying, well, I'm having them, so there's something wrong, maybe a deficiency, something like that. I feel like you're having conversations, or have had conversations about your health. And so this is networking, and maybe even not with doctors, maybe with other people, and they say, yeah, I had cramps in my legs too. Well, I found out I wasn't having enough vitamin C, or something like osteoporosis, or you're figuring it out. Okay. um so like, this is your work pile, okay, and I see a possible long-term situation coming your way. This is hard work and perseverance, something you have to persevere through. I feel like it could be a lifetime career coming your way, where you're going to gain financially. You're going to gain financially. You're going to be, able to provide for yourself, no problem. But I feel like this is a long term career, long term thing that you could do for, 20 years or something, maybe even longer. And there also might be something you need to give up for your health. There could be something you're doing, participating in, could be, I'm not sure, but there's something I feel like you need to give up, whether it's sugar, cigarettes, drinking, um, something I feel like that needs to change in your habits to improve your health, is what I think. How others see you or influencing you. We have the Queen of Clubs, the King of Spades, and the Jack of Clubs. This looks almost like a family to me. Um, it could be a couple that is separated, perhaps. Or maybe this is a step parent. Like, it's your mom and her boyfriend, or your dad and his girlfriend, something like that. I feel like there could be another sibling in the situation, whether it's brother, sister, cousin. Um, and I feel like it's really friendly, but I feel like the step person um, has a mistrust side to them. They don't trust people, or they're leery or suspicious or something like that, you know. But I feel like there's a lot of friendliness, support, love, regardless around the situation. All right. I think others, if this is your family, others see you having a mostly supportive, friendly family situation. For some reason, I feel like dad is out of the picture, or is a step person, parent. In the foundation, we have the Six of Hearts, the Three of Hearts, and the Queen of Hearts. So this is a relationship that's growing here, okay? Whether it's between you and a family member, because it could be your sister, your mother, your aunt. It could be a male member too, someone you're just very close to, or even a friend. I'm feeling family, but and it also could be someone you're really fond of, you really like, and it's you're getting to know them, and it's getting closer, and it's taking steps. I think that you only have eyes for this person, or they only have eyes for you. They would do anything to help you. You wouldn't They bend over backwards, there's no second guessing about it. This person is in your life, or this is what you're looking for. um and you're very lucky. So the surprise is the Five of Hearts, the King of Clubs, and the Six of Diamonds. So this is definitely a gain. This is something that is, for one thing, it could be a clean bill of health, or a change, like I said, in your physical habits or recreation, or something changing, something like that for the better. The King of Clubs is a friend, is usually seen as a friend, could be a relative too, an uncle, brother, but good support person. They're very creative with their ideas, open minded, I would say, and also going to help you with an opportunity to gain financially, to take steps in your security. You know, this could be the person that's talking to you about this, who you have to speak to, but it looks really good. And you're surprised in some way, because I think, you're coming from this place of doubt. You're thinking, I don't have any choices. Nobody would hire me. Like, what am I going to do? You just kind of went into a slump or something like that. And I feel like you're coming out of that with all these tens, the world, all these aces. Um, it's a lot of red in your reading. I also feel like you're kind of teetering. You're right in the middle, teetering, trying to find your place. And I think that's going to happen for you by the end of this month. Okay. You're going to see change. If you're not holding it in your hand, you know when it's coming. It's all arranged, kind of thing. But definitely, I think you needed to go through this difficult time to learn a specific lesson about yourself, about the world, perhaps, um, and our limits. I feel like our limits are in there. So, anyway, I feel something's ending, and then other doors are opening. This needed to end for this other light to shine. Like the moon needs to go down. The moon needs to disappear so that the sun can come out, and so on. The sun needs to go down so that the moon can come out. It's a cycle. We need both. We need the night to rest so that we can do things in the day. So this balance is needed, okay? And you are going to be realizing what you've gained out of this experience very soon. So, very interesting, Leo. You'll have to let me know. I'm kind of curious. I feel like there's a career change for a lot of you. I think there's also relationship changes going on here too, and it's turning very positive. You're finding your group, your band of merry men. Sort of thing, that where you feel like you fit in this place. Okay. All right. Love you, Leo. Happy birthday. Hope you have a really wonderful month. And I will talk to you soon. Bye now.